Papa Kilo.
Okay, Sierra Papa 3, Sierra Papa Kilo, I think that was. Very good evening to you, old man. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. And I'm in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London. Thank you for calling me. I'll give you a report on the next over and some technical details. Sierra Papa 3, Sierra Papa Kilo, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Good evening, Mark. My name is Piotr, English teacher. My name, rapport for you 5757. Michael Teha, 80 kilometers Poznań, 80 kilometers Poznań. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Sierra Papa 3, Sierra Papa Kilo.
Yeah, Sierra Papa 3, Sierra Papa Kilo. Piotr, or Peter in English. Well, that's very nice of you to call me. And thank you for the details and your location. And thank you for the 5 and 7. You're peaking just 5 and 6 to me at the moment, Peter. Just 5 and 6. A little bit of QSB downwards. I'm using an IC-7300 this evening by ICOM, about 120 watts from the radio, and the antenna's very simple, just a vertical. It's a 5/8 wave vertical aluminium, just an aluminium rod. So that's the story, Peter. Back to you, SP3, CQ10m JCF.
Okay, Mark, my condition, this is flat radio 640, amplified 100, this is delta, horizontal. My condition is station, Mark. Mike 0, Julie Charlie Foxtrot, Sierra Papa 3, Sierra Papa Kilo.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, it's working very well for us both this evening. Your signal not disappearing at all. It goes very low, goes to about 5 and 3, but no problem hearing you, Peter. You've got a very good modulation on that radio. Whiskey X-ray today, about 26 degrees Celsius. So it was a very warm day. We had lots of sunshine and no rain. So it's good because over the weekend we had some rain, but now the sunny weather has come back and we're back into summer. Back to you.
My English bag, I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. Your English is fantastic. Okay, Peter, in that case, I will wish you and your family very best 73. Thank you for contacting me, and I look forward to you saying hello again in the future, Peter. If ever you hear me calling CQ10, please do come and say hello, and we'll do it again. We'll swap reports, we'll swap details. Good luck, old friend, 73.
Okay, Mark, thank you. That's it. Good luck, good day. Thank you.
You are completely welcome, old friend. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, CQ10. CQ. Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar. I don't even have to look you up. I know that's George. Very good evening to you, George, and thanks for coming back to me. I have been calling for a while and only one contact so far, Poland. So this is a surprise, but then you're going to tell me you're using 50 kilowatts and a 27 element beam. But joking aside, I'll give you a report on the next over. Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, you're peaking 5 and 8, but a lot of QSB, of course. It's 10 meters for the key. I just came up from 17 meters, worked a couple of guys down on 17, and I came up here on 10 just before I popped back upstairs, and I see one station on the entire 10 meter, and that's you. A very, very spready key cloud, but absolutely no activity, but you're peaking 5 and 8, Mark. And no, I have to disappoint you. I'm not running 50 kilowatts. I'm only running 1 kilowatt and not 27 elements, only 9. But even that is not true. I'm running 3 active elements here on 10. So 27 divided by 9. That should give you 3 elements, and that's what I'm running on 10. I'm on my Hermes tonight. I'm letting the 7610 rest, so using the Hermes. M0, Julie, Charlie Fox, Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar.
Well, I'm glad you got a sense of humour about that. Well, yeah, nice to meet you. You're peaking, just touching 5 and 9, and the QSB dropping you to about 5 and 5. It's quite a fast QSB, but as I say, not surprising really. Obviously, your antenna's doing all of the heavy lifting, and I'd expect a few dB gain up on my signal report. But yeah, just touching 5 and 9. That's what I'll stick in the logbook today, George. Well, it's been a great weekend. I was out and about most of the weekend. We had barbecues on Saturday and Sunday, and Saturday evening it ran till about midnight or so. Sunday was just the afternoon, just going into the early evening. So it was a great weekend. Not a lot of radio for me. Whiskey X-Ray was rain on and off over the weekend, but not bad. It was rain that we desperately needed, and today has been a sunny day, about 26 degrees Celsius. So my wife and I took our dog down into the Kent countryside. There's a small walk down there that we do regularly near a river, and we found some fig trees that grow there. They're wild. They must have, the figs must have come from a local tree in somebody's garden. But those figs have been growing for many years. And so we were down there harvesting figs. We do it about once a week. We always get 5 or 6 figs. They're great big things, you know. They're huge, the size of big oranges. And they are beautiful to eat. Obviously, totally organic. And not many people know that they're there, and those that do see the trees, I don't think they realise that they're figs. Of course, you may not like figs. I love them. So that's the story of what I've been up to, George. SB7S M0JCF.
Yeah, sounds absolutely wonderful, Mark. Well, we've had a nice weekend, almost too warm, very warm weather. We were supposed to go and visit one of my wife's best friends on Saturday, having a coffee and maybe some cake. They just moved into a house into the nearby city here. We have lived quite close before, but they have moved into the city. But just before we went to them, we were already in the city doing some shopping, and then I got called into work. I have been on call for a week. I've been doing my normal work, of course, but been on call 24/7 for a week. I left that shift this morning at 7 o'clock, but I got the call, so I had to work 7 hours on Saturday afternoon and evening. So no coffee with my wife's friend, no good dinner or anything, just some leftovers in the evening when I was finished. We fired up the barbecue yesterday, and just me and my wife, so that was nice. But wonderful weather. Yesterday I worked a bit on our glassing patio we are building, and I've been working on it 5 hours tonight. So I just been in for a short time here and taking a short rest before I pop into the shower and bed, and then continue with the patio tomorrow. So it's been a nice weekend. At least the last week we're working before the vacation here, so on Friday afternoon both me and my wife clocks out for a 4 weeks vacation over.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, do you know what? I remember those days of being on call when I was in IT. I'm not sure of your profession. I don't know that you've told me. I can't remember. Apologies if you have told me. But I was in IT. I'm a Unix administrator, and I had to do on call only once in about every 8 weeks or so. So it wasn't the end of the world. But you know, when you're on call, I don't know if it's. I always used to draw the long straw, but you know, you go to bed at say 10:30, 11 p.m. you just fall to sleep, and the phone would go off, and some crazy man's got some some weird IT fault, and so you've got to get up, you've got to log on, you've got to find the server, all of the information, etc., and then you put the phone down, everything's good, and then it turns out that actually you hadn't fixed what you thought you'd fix, so they'd have you up again and everything would be good. And then, of course, you know, again, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you know, they'd ring you again. And you say, oh, well, maybe you could have just waited till 6 a.m., but no. And, of course, you'd have a week of that. And the weekends, you could never plan to do anything. So, it got a bit much for me in the end. And, well, as I retired 2.5 years ago, so I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't have to be on call and I don't have to suffer like that anymore. So I do sympathise with you. And of course, some people that I worked with, they actually liked being on call because they enjoyed their profession so much. It was like a hobby, like amateur radio is for us. So, you know, sometimes I could pass off my on-call to someone else. I would say to them, look, I really don't want to do this weekend or this week or whatever. If you want the overtime, you know, if you want the extra money, if you want to take my on-call and we'll work it around, maybe I'll do something for you in the future. So, you know, it wasn't the end of the world. And great that you're going on a vacation soon. That, as I say, it's one big vacation for me these days. George, back to you.
Yeah, okay, it sounds wonderful. And believe me, Mark, I know the drill. I've been working within IT for the last 30 years, and I always had positions where I've been on call. Sometimes without payment and being on call all the time, and most of the time more regulated. Now I have the operational responsibility for all IT, for 3 hospitals and 30 healthcare centers and 20 dental care centers. So we have about 10,000 users in our systems. So now I'm not a technician anymore. I'm on the management level, so I'm on call every 6 weeks as the manager in charge. So if technicians can't fix it, or they need to bring in extra resources, or they need to have decisions taken, they call me. And the shit had hit the fan big time on Saturday, so I got a quite nervous technician calling me. So it's you know, when they call, then it's really not good. But I'm so used to it. I've been with it for 30 years, and I really love my job. And most of the time, I can help them, and I can make the decisions, and I can answer their questions, and that always feels good. 0 JCF, Sugar, Bravo 7 Sugar.
Yeah, SB7S, M0 JCF. Well, of course, it's so much better now, George, that we can do it by remote, can't we? You know, I used to fall out of bed, go downstairs, fire up the laptop, and away I went. In the old days, when I was a TV engineer, digital television engineer, we started digital television in the UK around 1999, Cable and Wireless UK. And we were the first company. So I was a principal engineer in digital television, and I wasn't so much on call to start with. I was on shift work. So, you know, you do 4 days, 4 days off, 4 nights, 4 days off. You know the drill there. Prior to that, I was in telecoms doing exactly the same thing. And before that, I was a field engineer with the last company that I was at for nearly 30 years. So I did a few years as a field engineer. And that one, though, you would get called out, but you'd have to jump into your vehicle and drive to the remote site. And that one was always a hard one, especially when I moved further out of London, a long way out of London. I say a long way, you know, about 25 miles, 30 miles. But you'd have to drive up in the motorway into London and then navigate across London to a different part of London just to get to one of those cabinets in the street with multiplexes and stuff like that in them. So yeah, that one could be a bit tiresome. You'd probably spend as much time doing the driving at 2-3 o'clock in the morning as you did actually fixing the fault. And the same thing would happen on a Saturday, Sunday. I'd get called, I'd jump in my vehicle, I'd drive to the site, maybe took 45 minutes. You spend only 15 minutes or so fixing the fault. You tell the dispatch office it's all fixed, yeah, it's all up and running, thanks Mark. So then you jump in the vehicle, drive all the way home again, and then 20 minutes later a fault would come up, not the same place but relatively nearby, and it would just, that was soul destroying sometimes. But I've done it, I've ticked that box, I don't have to do it anymore, and that's the fantastic thing. So as you say, you're on the management side now. That used to give me a lot of pleasure. If I had a complex fault, not one that I couldn't fix, but if it was a complex fault where I had to escalate it, because what you didn't want is the next day, if it was a big complex or a long running fault, the higher management would call your manager and say, what happened last night? This customers, thousands of customers had a problem, and you tell me what happened. And then of course your manager would go, I don't know anything about this. And of course then the phone calls, the emails would go around, what happened last night, and why didn't you ring me? And I thought, well, what could you do apart from I'm ringing you to say it's broken? Wait till the next morning, check your emails, check the logs, and you'll see that I was called out. It was such fun and games. As I say, you on the management side, I'm sure you get plenty of that as well. Back to you.
Yeah, but I've been a technician for most of my life, or a lot of my life, I should say. I've been on the management side now for the last almost 20 years, but I still have a streak of technician in me, and it still needs sometimes finding the problems or solving the problems. That always feels good, but we have a lot of good technicians, so I'm not too worried. But I know the drill. I know what you mean, and sometimes it's me asking what happened. And for us, it's really important. It's not a question about money. In our case, it's a question about people's lives. We have a 24/7 operation with trying to save people's lives. So it's a couple of things at stake here. But I really enjoy it. I wouldn't change it. I worked for the private side for many years. I worked for international companies, manufacturing companies. I worked within the paper industry, the nuclear industry. It's so much more fun and satisfying to work for the healthcare. Luckily enough, I only have 30 kilometers to work, and as you say, I can do 95% of the work remote. It was a different story back in the days when I worked for Swedish, but international company. We had a head office in Switzerland and factories in Germany and Austria, Switzerland, France, Norway, a couple of other places. And sometimes I could get a call that we need you in Switzerland tomorrow. We have a problem. We need you to go to Switzerland. You must be here tomorrow. So it's just to go home at lunch, pack your bag, hop on the train down to Denmark, and then catch a flight down to Switzerland, or to France, or to England. So now I'm lucky. I only have to travel very short distances, instead of having to tell my wife that, sorry darling, but I have to go to Switzerland this afternoon, and I have no idea when I get home. M0JTF, Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar.
Oh, well, it sounds ideal. As we get older, I think the fun of international travel, etc., starts to wear thin. The only international travel I did for my work was mainly in the digital TV side of things. I used to go to Rennes in France. That was in northwestern France, for the Thomson TV company, digital television that was. And then I used to go to Barco, which became Scientific Atlanta, and Barco UK, and then they became, I think they merged as part of the Cisco group. But I used to go to Barco over in Ghent and Kortrijk over in Belgium, so it wasn't so bad for me as well. Where I live in Kent, I'm literally 40 minutes away from Ashford. So I can jump on the shuttle that gets me over to Calais, and then from there just drive wherever I needed to go. Normally, if it was Belgium, I would just drive down to Lille, and then across the border into Ghent and Kortrijk. But at Wren it was different. Normally I'd catch the trains down that way because it was a little bit further. But yeah, I've never had the big pleasure of having to fly around to Switzerland and that. And of course, as you say, you know, your job, you know, it's you know, there are lives are at stake. I'm not sure I could say that about mine so much. My one was mainly sort of internet sort of based. Well, I worked for Virgin Media, the Virgin Media Group, and I think they were Virgin Media 02 when I left. But you know, I joined the original cable TV company in 1993, and they went through so many acquisitions and mergers to become a Virgin Media. They were a huge company in the end. But prior to that, I worked for British Telecom International. Luckily there, I wasn't on call or even on shift. I just used to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I was working in the City of London back when it was fun, you know, but I took redundancy from them in 1992. Anyway, that's a great history lesson I've had from you about what you do and what you have done. It really does make a nice change, George, from talking about radios, antennas and the weather. Back to you.
Yeah, I agree. And especially when you find someone who has worked in the same field and know the problems and know the feelings. That's for sure. Okay, I will let you go, Mark. I cooled off enough now to jump into the shower, grab something to drink, and then pop myself into bed here. The alarm bell goes off at 5:30 tomorrow morning. We will try to get some sleep. It's very, very muggy. It's still 21 degrees Celsius and very high humidity. They forecast rain later on tonight or early tomorrow morning, and we see the dark clouds in the sky, so I'm pretty sure it will start to rain shortly here. Take care. See you soon, Mark. Have a great evening. Thanks for the wonderful QSO. And 0JTS, Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you take care, George, and have a good rest, have a good sleep. And you know, you'll always hear me on 10 meters. I've just checked QRZ. This is our 10th conversation on 10, so we're into double figures now. So a long way till we get to 100. But I'm sure, knowing the reputation of you and Sporadic E and me and Sporadic E, we're bound to talk again. All the very best. 73 to everyone around you, and best wishes to the whole family. Take care and bye-bye for now. SB7S, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark. Have a great evening. See you soon. M0JTS, Sugar Bravo 7 Sugar. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, old friend, and take care. QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Okay, nothing else is heard. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot will now go QRT. This frequency is clear for use. This frequency is clear for use.